All right, we're going to read chapter 8 of rules. If you can only choose one, pick carefully. Okay. On Wednesday morning, the minivan is gone from the driveway next door. So I busy myself collecting words and phrases for Jason in the blank spaces of my sketchbook. Words from commercials, conversations, and books from between my doodles and across the backs of my drawings. The driveway remains empty until after dark. An hour before OT on Thursday, I lay my sketchbook open on my desk and flip the pages, hunting for the right words and phrases to put on Jason's cards. Why not? He already has why, but why not is pushier, like why with a fist on its hip. On my window, I see the minivan still parked next door. Why not? Because Mom's calling clients and David's at work. So David is my responsibility. That's why. Just an hour, Mom said, until we have to leave for OT. I've put on Thomas the Tank Engine video, so he shouldn't be any trouble for you. That's what Mom said. But I know better. I pull forward 2 blank cards and I scrawl or write, okay? Yeah, right, and whatever. So now, today, she has 3 cards. She's done why not with a question mark, yeah, right, and whatever. She's kind of got an attitude today, huh? So she's doing words that go with how she feels for the day. I know she needs me to babysit sometimes, but I hate when she tells me he shouldn't be any trouble. Trouble comes quick with David, and should doesn't have anything to do with it. He should remember to flush the toilet too, but that doesn't mean that it happens. When Mom had gone, I took my long mirror off the door and propped it at an angle against the corner of my living room so I could work at my desk and still see David reflected in the mirror. A few words I make. I glance out of my bedroom doorway to the mirror. David is standing at the TV, the remote control in his hand. He loves rewinding the trains backwards, up the tracks, and then speeding them to almost crashing over and over and over. I turn another sketchbook page and choose among the words that I have written along the edge. Sure, you bet, with an exclamation point. Excellent, with an exclamation point. Perfect, frustrating, pretty, and dazzling. To jazz up and stretch the words Jason has in a bigger direction, I add the word joke. This way, he can be sarcastic if he wants. I peek toward the mirror. The TV train steams ahead, billowing smoke toward the shed. Watch out! David repeats in a perfect imitation of the narrator's voice. But at the last second possible before the smash, David hits pause. Jumping in front of the frozen TV picture, he waves the remote in circles like it's a magic wand. Watch out! On the next page is my half-finished portrait of Jason. I pick up a pencil and I add the details that I couldn't add in the waiting room. I add eyelashes, thick eyebrows, and outline his thin lips. Parts of me wish I could tear up this picture, take it right out of my sketchbook, and crumble it in a tight ball so I don't hear his mother scolding in my head when I see it. But the rest of me is bothered that it's incomplete. Too much like a secret. 2 more cards, incomplete and secret. Are you busy? A girl's voice asks. I drop my pencil and flash a look from my unmade bed to the folded clothes piled in my bureau. Cinnamon and Nutmeg crane their necks to weep at Mom. and the girl from next door is standing in my doorway. I saw Kristi coming up the walk, Mom says, smiling. Catherine, I have one more call to make. Can you keep an eye on David for just one more minute, and then I'll take over, I promise. Before I can get out the word no, I see Mom's legs in the mirror, hurrying back to her office. David is pushing rewind, and Thomas is speeding backwards up the tracks again. Come in. I offer my chair, but Kristi sits on the edge of my desk, crossing her feet at her ankles. Are you busy? She asks. No. Seeing her up close, I know that Kristi will be popular, not only for her straight brown hair parted off center, shining down to her elbows, or because she looks just right, even for wearing frayed jeans and a t-shirt. Kristi radiates cool. And I know, as sure as I know, that David will stop that speeding train at the last second. Part of me feels sorry because she doesn't look like a flashlight and Morse code kind of kid. But the other part of me feels excited. I'm glad Mrs. Bowman sold you her house, I say. Well, I guess technically the realtor sold it, but I'm glad your family bought it because I've always thought it would be great if a kid next door. I totally messed that sentence up. Let me start that again. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Well, I guess technically the realtor sold it, but I'm glad your family bought it because I've always thought it would be great if a kid lived next door. Mrs. Bowman was nice, but she was really, really old. I clamp my teeth together to keep anything else dumb from escaping out of my mouth. Kristi drags a strand of her hair between her fingers. I'm glad too. I was scared I'd have to start school next year without knowing anyone. My lips spread to a smile, imagining Melissa's surprise as I introduce Kristi into our friend group. This is my friend Kristi, I'll say. We hung out together all summer. I glance out my doorway to the living room. Where's David? Ryan said there's a bus stop at the end of the street. I lick my bottom lip to keep from grimacing. At the corner. That's right, Kristi continues to twist her strand of hair. I used to walk 3 blocks to catch the bus, even when it was freezing or raining. Mom say, take an umbrella, as though anyone carries an umbrella. David insists on bringing his red umbrella to school even when it's only cloudy. My mom's like that too, I say. Leaving out isn't the same as lying. She always says, well, at least wear your hood. I continue, like I'd want hood hair. Kristi smiles, letting the twist strand fall back to her arm. Ryan said the kids wait in his house when it's raining, since he can't see the bus from there. Yeah, that's true, but only if you're invited. I peek out the doorway into the empty living room. Part of me would like to tell Kristi the truth, but I don't want our conversation to become about David. At the bus stop, I always tell him, you have your umbrella, grabbing the back of his jacket to keep him from following Ryan's friends up those steps. Going inside is for kids without umbrellas. I would be honest, but David doesn't understand invited and not invited. He thinks that everything is for everyone. Ryan's so nice, Kristi says. Don't you think so? Yeah, he's nice as a cockroach. Want some sherbet? I ask. Here's another rule. When you want to get out of answering something, distract the questioner with another question. What kind? Kristi asks. Raspberry. David rushes through my doorway, his eyes wide with panic, an audio cassette in his hand. Fix it! The tape has pulled out of the cassette, hanging in a long, delicate loop. At first, I'm relieved that that's all that's wrong until my guinea pigs start to squeal. With the cassette over one ear and his hand shielding the other, David yells, "Quiet, pigs!" Kristi shoots a worried glance from David to the guinea pigs to me. I pry the cassette from David's fingers, knowing it'll be faster to deal with the tape than the tears that are filling in his eyes. Don't worry, this will only take a minute. I spin the cassette around and around on my finger, wishing I had more hands. One to give the guinea pigs hay to quiet them, another to cover David's mouth as he shrieks. I spin the cassette so fast that my finger keeps slipping out of the tiny hole. When the tape flies flat and tight, I slide Frog and Toad together into my cassette player and push play. Arnold LaBelle's deep voice joins the guinea pig squeals, and David's face lights up like Christmas morning, Halloween night, and his birthday, all roll into one big grin. You fixed it! Go find Mom, I say, pressing the cassette into his hand, and tell her that I'm done babysitting. Before I close the door, I peek into the living room to be sure that David's heading towards Mom's office. He disappears down the hallway, swinging his arms. That must be hard, Kristi says. Even regular little brothers are a pain. Regular. That word snarls in my stomach. I grab the sticky note and write, Dad, buy a new tape player, with an exclamation point, and stick it on the back of my door to remember to tell him, again. To quiet my guinea pigs, I pull strings of Timothy hay from the little bale I keep under their cage. Nutmeg yips as Cinnamon steals her hay. They're so cute, Kristi says. Can I hold them? Sure. I toss her a towel. Better put that on your lap in case they pee. I slide one hand under Nutmeg's chest and cup her back legs with my other. Cinnamon squeaks until I set her next to Nutmeg on Kristi's lap, and the squeaking turns into happy pig cooing. I imagine them talking to each other. Nutmeg, I thought I'd never see you again. Say, what are you eating? Towel, medium rare, with a hint of fabric softener. Care for a bite? Don't mind if I do. My door bursts open. No toys in the fish tank, David announces. I'll be right back, I say to Kristi between my clenched teeth. No problem, she says, stroking Nutmeg's neck. I close my door behind me so that Kristi won't see me run. Why? I sprint ahead of David. Why today? Because. A tiny cowboy stands bow-legged on the gravel at the bottom of the fish tank, one hand poised to grab his pistol and the other holding the end of a lasso looping over his head as a goldfish swims right through the hole. Get back here, you pesky vermin! Plunging my hand into the water, fish swooshes past my fingers. I rescue the cowboy and throw him into the toy box. Grabbing David's wrist, I don't even wipe my hand first. What? David twists to get away. You're not going to ruin this for me. I yank him along behind me down the hallway into Mom's office. She's on the phone. All right then, Mom says to the receiver. I look forward to hearing from you next week. I have company, I say, not caring about interrupting her. And you need to watch David. Mom holds up one finger for me to wait, but I push David ahead of me in the room. Her eyebrows come down. She grabs a puzzle off her bookshelf and dumps the pieces on the floor. Yes, that'll be fine, she says on the phone. David sits beside the hill of pieces. He can't stand to see puzzles undone, but he insists on doing the puzzles in lines, like he's reading the puzzle. He doesn't look for all the red pieces or the daisies in the field or the glimmers of sunlit water. Left to right, top to bottom, that's his puzzle rule. And if you add a piece out of David's order, he'll take it back out, even if it fits. I slam Mom's office door on my way out. When I come back to my room, breathless from running down the hallway, I notice that Nutmeg and Cinnamon are in their cage again. Everything okay? Kristi asks. I hope you don't mind that I looked at this. She's holding my sketchbook, open to the half-finished portrait of Jason. Is he your boyfriend? No, just a boy I started drawing. Kristi tilts her head in that "oh really" type of look. If you want someone to think something's not important, just say "just" a lot. He's just a boy I know from, well, I don't really know him, not very well. I just see him I check my watch. It's almost time to leave for OT. I can't tell Kristi I have to go. Not the first time we met. But I told Jason that I would see him today. Kristi tosses my sketchbook onto my desk. My hands itch to flip the page, but that'll bring attention to it. Want to watch TV? Kristi asks. If I say no, maybe I won't get another chance to hang out with her. I glance to Thomas the Tank Engine reflected in my mirror. His eyes are closed, braced for the crash that will never happen. From somewhere, David shrieks. We could watch TV at my house, Kristi says. That stings, even if I agree. Sure, I say. I'll tell my mom. All the way up Kristi's walkway, I want to skip or run or twirl with my arms out like a 6-year-old. It feels deliciously easy to be visiting a friend's house without having to say, sorry, David, this is for me. You can't come. Hearing Mom's car back out of the driveway, I turn to wave. She waves, but David sits alone in the back seat, hunched down with his hands over his ears. I follow Kristi up the steps to her front door. And that's the end of the chapter. We are about halfway through the book, guys. All right, so check out the activity below and on our page to go along with the chapter.